Hey guys, welcome to another best comps video for patch 14.10. A new patch has dropped, so it's time again to talk about the best comps. The first comp I have for you guys here is Lilia. So Lilia is back in the meta, and now she's pretty good. She got a little bit of a buff, and other champions getting nerfed. She's now rising to the top. So Lilia really likes Invokers and Mythic. So this first comp I'm showing you is very basic. It can be 10 Mythic, it can be 7 or 5. It doesn't matter how many Mythics you have. The more Mythics, the better. And the champions you want to have are going to be Lilia, Nautilus, Annie. You're going to want 4 Invokers when you play her because she's an Invoker, of course. So you got the Azir, Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's for the Mythic. Hui is a really good Mythic at the late game. Nico, Cho'Gath, Nautilus are core. And Tahm Kench if you don't have like Mythic emblems. So if you can push for 7 Mythic, ideally 7 Mythic and 4 Invokers, you're going to be in a good spot. If you get 5 Mythic, that's okay. However, if you have the Mythic emblem, you can turn Annie into a Mythic and she gets much bigger. She becomes a lot stronger as a tank. Mythic emblem is also good on Azir, so I gave it to him on the sheet. Lilia really likes blue buff, Jewel Gauntlet, and Archangel Staff. So that's her BIS right now for infinite damage. Try this build out, it is really good right now. So the next comp let's go into is gonna be Zoe. So Zoe actually got a significant buff in this patch. She's gonna be doing a lot more damage overall, and you can now play 3-star Zoe. So this is the 6 Arcanist, 3-star Zoe reroll comp. You can reroll this comp at level 7 or 8. And you don't actually have to, I think, get 3-star Zoe. I think you can also just push for like level 9, level 8, 9 if you have a strong Arcanist board. You can just stabilize with a 2-star Zoe, but 3-star Zoe is really strong. So she likes Spear of Shojin, Jewel Gauntlet, Rabadon Deathcap, just pure maximum damage. You got 6 Arcanists for max, 3 Storyweavers. You got the Kale right here. You want to do blue Kale. If you have Static Shiv, blue Kale is really awesome. If you don't have Static Shiv, let's say, then I guess you could go for the green, but blue is ideal to just buff your Zoe in the back with your Syndra here, who's going to be your secondary carry. She can use, blue buff and all those Syndra items that you guys already know of. And then you have 6 Arcanists. And then Galio, Riven is going to be your main frontline. And you can give your tank items to any of your tanks here. Galio, Lowy, Riven. If you hit a Nico 3 while you roll down for Zoe, let's say, Nico 3 can also get your items. And then you got a Lissandra right here to do some CC. So try this one out. Zoe got a significant buff once again, so she should be pretty good now in this patch. So let's go to the next one. We have the 4 Warden, 4 Snipers. Snipers got buffed at 4 and 6 now. So now you can play 4 and 6. It's not just 2 Snipers. So now we're seeing the rise of Wardens and Snipers. This one is basically you just bring Ashe, Senna, Caitlyn, Aphelios in the back. And you give Ashe items, her BIS, Best in Slot, Infinity Edge, Guinsoo's, Last Whisper. You want to slam your tank items on Nautilus, let's say, Set, Illaoi, Amumu. Any of your strongest tanks are going to be holding your tank items. Perhaps you can even get a Amumu 3, who knows, right? It's always possible to 3-star, usually with 3 costs. But Set also likes items as well. Set's pretty good, he got a buff as well. He can use items like Bloodthirster, Sterix, Wormogs. He can use any tank items, it does not matter. He can use Brambles, Dragon's Claw, and stuff like that. And you just want to prioritize Ashe here. It's very simple, 4 Warden, 4 Sniper, very straightforward. This comp is rising to the top right now, so try this one out as well. And then the next comp we have here for you guys is going to be another Invoker comp. That's right, because it is the rise of Lilia this patch. And this one is going to be actually 6 Invokers. That's right, you're no longer just playing 4, you're pushing completely for 6 Invokers. And you got a little bit of the front line here with Wardens, Nautilus, Set, and Ornn. Ornn is for Dryad buff for Azir, because Azir is really powerful now. But you can also bring in other units to frontline. The main goal you want here, the main idea here, the main build idea is 6 Invokers. So you're going to want to get Lilia. Again, she likes blue buff. Jewel Gauntlet, Archangel Staff for maximum damage. Alun is the same, except for he uses Spear of Shojin. Azir is the same, but he uses Spear of Shojin. And so you're going to itemize Alun, Azir, Lilia. Depending on, again, who's your strongest carry, you're going to want to give them the items, right? Who's your 2-star? Is Alun 3-star? Depends on, your game is going to be different, but this is kind of the board. You're most likely going to itemize Lilia and Azir as your main carries. And then once again, your main tank is probably going to be Annie, Ornn, or Nautilus. If you hit a Nautilus 2, you can also give him your tank items. So all your tank items to one of these champions, ideally any damage items, Lilia, Azir for this build. Try this one out. 6 Invoker is pretty powerful. If you have the Invoker spatula or the emblem as one of your augment, then you should probably push for this comp because this one is pretty good. So let's go to the next one we have is gonna be 4 Dryad and 5 Fates. Now this one is not new at all. This is something that I've been abusing since the last patch, and this comp is still good because Syndra was untouched, and this comp relatively was not touched except for the fact that it got buffed because Kindred got a buff, Ahri got a buff, and Set got a buff. Gnar got a nerf, but Gnar doesn't matter. So this comp actually kind of just went up. So it's really still very, very strong, and it's still easy to play. You just have to get 4 Dryad with Ornn, Gnar, Kindred, Azir. If you don't have Azir, you're just going to bring Rek'Sai. It's a level 8 build, and you're going to have 5 Fates with Syndra, Set, Thresh, and Ahri. Unless, once again, if you don't have Set, you can just bring in Aphelios, anybody else. The main idea is 4 Dryad, 5 Fates. Syndra is your main carry. Blue buff, Nashor's Tooth, Jewel Gauntlet, that's her BIS. Or you can do double Adaptive Helm and a Rabadon Death Cap. Double Adaptive Helm and Syndra is also her best in slot, really broken. I've played it many times. So Syndra is still a really solid carry in this build and in this patch. Azir, again, we talked about him several times. Spear of Shojin, Jewel Gauntlet, third item, right? Static Shiv, Archangel Staff, Rabadon Death Cap. Ornn is going to be your main tank in this build. So again, all your main tank items should go onto him, unless your strongest tank is maybe Thresh. If Thresh is a 2-star, you could also give him some items, but ideally Ornn is going to be your main tank. You can also give damage items to Set or tank items to Set if you have him as well. But Ornn is your main tank, Syndra is your main damage in this build. So this is the Dryad Syndra build from the last patch, still really strong. So definitely abuse it until they nerf it. So let's go to the next one right here. It is going to be 7 Inkshadows. 7 Inkshadow is back, and now you don't really play 4 trick shots. You play 2 trick shots because 4 trick shots got nerfed, so I think it's not as good. I think you could maybe play it, but this one is the best Kaisa version right now. It is 7 Inkshadow. So if you have the Inkshadow emblem, then you should definitely play this build. So 7 Inkshadow Kaisa, she likes Tattoo of Toxin. That's her favorite tattoo once again, but she can use Spear of Shojin, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Giant Slayer, Deathblade. Any AD item on Kaisa is good. And then you're just going to literally have 7 Inkshadows, Aatrox, Volibear, Udyr, Jax, Senna. And your front line is going to have what? Ornn, Set. Set is Warden bonus, or you don't need to have Set. You could have Nautilus. You can have another front line, but Ornn definitely good with Udyr. Udyr should be holding your tank items here. He is an Inkshadow. Give him some Inkshadow items. Tattoo of Force is really good for this guy. And then for 2 trick shots, ideally Xayah is going to be your other trick shot. Hopefully this is the one you will be hitting. You're gonna need to get at least 2 trick shots here in this build, so Xayah is very important. And if for the Inkshadow emblem, you can give it to Xayah or you can give it to Ornn. So either one of them are gonna be fine to hold it. Does not really matter. Xayah also likes Tattoo of Bombardment if that is the tattoo you have. So if you hit Xayah, give her Tattoo of Bombardment. She's really good with that one. And yeah, this is very easy, straightforward. Again, just the vertical 7 Inkshadow comp. And then the last comp I want to show you guys is going to be just kind of the same meta comp that we've been seeing all throughout TFT set 11. This is one of my favorite builds, the 4 Dragon Lord Irelia. It is, I think, a little bit better than last patch. It's a level 9 build, and you're going to want to get this board. Just 4 Dragon Lord. You're going to have Irelia as your main carry, Wukong, Galio, right? Galio is your tank, Riven is your tank here, Rakan is your tank, Lee Sin is your tank. Irelia likes Crest of the Signer, Infinity Edge, Guinsoo, and tank item should be going on to your Galio. Lee Sin is still really strong. Give him a Sterex, Bloodthirster, Titans, and he's doing work. There is one more comp I want to show you guys. This is the 7 Storyweaver build. And 7 Storyweavers are stronger than the last patch because 5 Storyweaver got buffed. And Kale is a little bit stronger. Also Swift, the Swift tome also got buffed as well. So one of her tomes got buffed. Basically, this comp, you just go straight for 7 stories, and you can do triple blue. The green one did get a buff. I don't know how good the green one is, but I think maybe you could use that one. But I think the triple blue is still the best one. And for this comp, you want to get augments that really buff Kale, right? So Call to Adventure, if you get that, definitely push for this one. Really, really strong with 7 stories. Jewel Gauntlet's good, right? Harm Assist, anything that buffs Kale, attack speed, the Tiny but Deadly, I think that one's also good. Anything that buffs Kale as a unit is really good because you're going to be getting her as a 3-star in this build. If you get 10 Storyweaver, that's awesome. Get that, you know, push for that if you can. But basically, this is the ideal build. You have Irelia as your carry once again here, and Galio as your main tank in the front. Lee Sin and Rakan are the 2 best non-Storyweaver champs. You get maximum Dragon Lords, you get some Altruists, and Lee Sin gives Duelist to Irelia. So Irelia is your carry with the Kale in this build. 7 Storyweaver definitely is a lot better than last patch. I would definitely say this comp is really strong in this patch, so you can definitely get your top 4s if you hit this. Once again, Call to Adventure should be your call to get 7 stories. This is a really fun build to play. Well, there you guys go. Here are some of the best comps you guys can play now for patch 14.10. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps me out. I appreciate everybody for watching my content daily. Thank you guys once again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.